saluto a tutti.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the AJC. It isn't game day, all right, but 3:30 a.m. my time. I'm going to be rocking the watch along, so we're going to cover the preview show right now. Happy to have you all in the chat. Drop a like while you're here. We got Anth, we got Luca. Fellas, you all set for Christmas or what? How's it going?
Start with the young guy who probably hasn't bought a goddamn thing yet.
Hold the phone. I shop like 2 months ahead. Why you got to take it out on me?
I tell you what, I'm getting some stuff done today when it comes to shopping. Yeah, I'm not complete. Not done.
Okay, now listen.
Yeah, well,
I'm just
you
going
guys
to
have
say
kids,
this.
I get it. You know,
I really wish the people who are in the chat right now could have seen the green room because I'm very excited for this show. It's not very often that we get Luca on here with me and this big jabroni in the middle. Oh, man. This is going to be a good one too. Even though the game's tomorrow, I'm very excited. I'm not excited for the game. I'm excited for this show. Yeah, oh yeah.
It should be a good one. There's a lot of topics to tackle,
Yep.
that's for sure. Super League. Agnelli getting bounced off the feed. You got some news with Chiesa. We've got rumor mill on players that could potentially come in and join in January. There's a ton. All this. We got our youngsters set to face off with Frosinone. Another one set to join them for the second half of the season in Dean Huysen. We got a lot to tackle. All right. It's going to be a great one, as it always is. You guys in the live chat are always fantastic. Just going to get some of the housekeeping out of the way. Thank you as we get ready to round out the calendar year, all right, for your continued support. The ways to show some extra love, obviously checking out the merch store. We've got Super Chat enabled. And for those of you who are members, thank you very much. Yes, there's extra green room content. There is exclusives and the opportunity to follow Marco and yesterday Anthony Trimboli in members-only chats. We rocked another one out yesterday. It was a lot of fun. Everybody knows I like taking the host hat off and just hanging out, chatting Juve. A lot of fun, and I thank you, Anthony, for being the latest one to take us up on that one. And show some love to your local official fan clubs. All right. And we're, of course, the official voice and channel of the official fan clubs North America. We also have a very, very special giveaway being announced next week. Okay. When it's Roma Juventus. And that one's massive.
Why do I never hear about these things? I gotta start reading this group chat.
Yeah.
because you're ineligible.
No.
It's under 70 years old. You cannot.
He is technically an official fan club member, so technically he
Are you?
is eligible.
Are you a member?
There's none here.
That's what I thought, jabroni.
And the one I was part of is no longer in existence. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Sort it out, Luca. Sort it out. All right. Now,
set the tone.
We are going to set the tone. We're going to set the tone early. I think we got to just get the Super League thing out of the way because it's not going to be a long discussion, but we just have to clear the air on, some are making this moment yesterday massive and whatnot. It is big, but it's still a long way to go. It's like a battle in a war, and that's essentially what's happened. They've won a small battle right now. But what's going to be interesting to see
medium
is,
size.
Everybody, I don't think people can get too high up on this thing, but they can't get to the opposite where they say this is nothing. It's not nothing, but it's also not as big as it's being made out to be, okay? Number one, what's very interesting about the whole thing, and we had this discussion in the group chat yesterday, and I said, guys, Juve's not officially out. They haven't officially been released. They never were.
You said that in the group chat, and then a bunch of us just started scouring the news feed. We're like, were we really out? And there was nothing, or I guess that would have been in the summertime, June or July. There was nothing that said we are officially out of the Super League. Now there was a letter. I think Alkin said that he had to sign something to say that he disowns it, or he
Yeah, they initiated the discussions
right
to
there it
be
is
released,
initiated.
but it was up to Real Madrid and Barcelona as the other 2/3 of the founding clubs, and it was also up to A22. The only thing that came out of that was A22 and Real Madrid dismissing it immediately because of outside pressure and influence from UEFA, essentially intimidation, which played into this whole monopoly that they were fighting in court, that they won. And they said UEFA cannot have this monopoly, they cannot interfere. So technically, Juve's not officially out. And I said, this is going to be very, very interesting. However, you still need more clubs. Now, I understand you have English clubs, German clubs denouncing this thing and whatnot. Roma said they're not going to take part.
Pescara. Good
Thanks,
for them.
Roma. Thank you. Thank you for letting us know where you stand. We were all dying to know where Roma stood on the Super League. Thank you. But we carry on. Napoli says they're open to it. Okay. Thank you. Listen, right now, what's going to be interesting is UEFA's next play, obviously, and the federations are all going to try to gang up and say that you can't take part in this, because Super League's intention is not to take these teams away from their domestic leagues.
People still don't understand that.
They don't understand
And
that.
it blows my mind that they don't get that.
They're not...
Mostly the English.
Yeah, the Super League does not want to pull away from the domestic league completely. It wants to be a separate competition. Now, what's interesting is
Champions League.
the precedent that's been set. This is why it isn't just something that can be brushed off yesterday like some are trying to do. The precedent has been set as far as the monopoly goes and interfering. It can be said that federations saying you are not able to partake in that competition while playing domestically could also be seen as playing into the monopoly UEFA has. And this is why it gets very interesting. It's not so much that teams like Bayern, PSG, etc., although we know PSG obviously is not going to take part because that guy and Sefrin sleep together every night, essentially. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. What's going to happen is this is going to it's going to happen for a long time, you guys. Luca, take it easy, man. What are you, Dutch ruddering? Are you trying to simulate a Dutch rudder there on screen? Take it easy. We just know they're in bed together. It's a way to say they're doing business together.
It's a figure of speech.
Yeah.
It's not any of this. No.
Luca,
Restart the show.
you're a child.
Yes.
Anyways.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Restart the show.
It's better than being an old fart.
It's going to be long going, okay? It's going to be ongoing for quite some time. It's not so much that the teams are saying no. It's that the precedent's been set for the monopoly, and we have to wait and see how these federations, we know they're going to push for clubs not to be able, but they could lose that as well in the battle.
I'm not surprised. I saw a couple people on the Matrix yesterday mentioning that. Why isn't Juventus coming out saying something? Juventus shouldn't say a goddamn thing about this. We have no comment. We're going to finish the season, try and make Champions League. That's our focus. We have no comment. 2 years down the road, we'll figure it out.
Quite a few fans that got fired up that Juve made no statement, that said nothing, and
nothing's been done yet. It's way too early to
comment.
Just
the way to go.
I'm okay with them saying nothing.
I'm okay with them just kind of hanging back. But for Agnelli, that was awesome. That was awesome for Agnelli, who fought the fight and had the balls to go at it with, Florentino and these other guys. And all of a sudden, he's the one that gets, and Juventus gets put through the ringer through all this. Agnelli essentially lost everything going through this. He still has battles that he's fighting, but it's a little vindication, and it's far from over. It's far from over. But Agnelli was right all along, and he saw the writing on the wall. And I mean, these guys called it. Now you've got guys like De Laurentiis. it's adorable when he tries to be like Agnelli, saying we should start a city elite with the 14 biggest cities in Italy in a league and whatnot.
14?
Oh, De Laurentiis, just figure out your stadium first, pal, and then
Yeah.
we'll get going from there. Or figure out your team winning at your own stadium this season, and then we go from there. Okay?
Was that a
But
home game on Tuesday? It was, wasn't it?
it's
Where they lost?
yeah
Yeah.
at the Maradona. Now
Yeah, it's
we
a
got to get into the young guys. A lot
Nice
of
points.
rumors. We know Huijsen's going to be going to Frosinone, who we play
Godspeed.
next up. And he's going to join the Juve B side, okay, with Barnechea, Caio Jorge, and Soule. And I think this is a good move. I don't think any of us really, get the kid some minutes. He's down the order. We're only playing one comp. I'm fine with it. I have no problems. You guys, everybody should be fine with it, I think.
One comment I was raised in the group chat is that I don't watch Frosinone play because, let's get serious. I ain't got time for that. But one of their better players is their center back. So Houston may not get as many minutes as the other. How many do we have there? 3?
3 now, yeah.
Yeah,
And
so
four.
that's the
He'll
other
be the
2. So he
fourth.
might not get as many minutes as the other 2 or 3. So, but hey, it's a great opportunity. Why not take it? And this is why you do deals with teams that play your players. You know they're going to play your young players. They need them to play. Why not do the deal? Dry loan, no obligation whatsoever. Perfect. Great business.
Yeah. And that's the thing coming out of it is that Juve avoided everything out of the options there that gave teams options to make a strike. They want to keep him around. There's a lot of the fan base that get fired up about the young guys. Anytime their names come up and deals, obviously we are hearing rumors about Soule and teams potentially coming in at him for 25 million. You've got Yildiz even hearing some rumors, although Yildiz I feel very comfortable Juve isn't going to release. But for me, it's the fact that we get maybe a little too fired up over the young guys. And I always tell people, I don't believe Juve is actively listing these players or selling them, because the fan base, there's a majority that get fired up. They're saying, look at Juve, we're selling all our young guys, we're moving them all. And it's like, no, we're not actively listing these guys, but we're hearing offers if offers come in. And would you not take into consideration strong offers on these players? When we talk about untouchable list at Juventus, it's very short. And if the offer was strong enough, even on those players, we'd probably hear it out. That's how I feel. Yeah, we're going to take everything into consideration with where we're at.
I think
Are
the
these
untouchable
guys
list is down to 1.
absolutely untouchable?
There's
I
only
don't
one
think
on
so.
there's only one on Juventus right now. That's it.
Only
Don't say
one untouchable for you?
Don't say
Yeah.
it.
No offer.
Well, I'm just saying, I think the team is the way they're thinking now. There's only one player that they wouldn't sell.
Yeah.
Of the entire team or the kids?
Yeah. No, the whole team. Chiesa. I think he's the only one the team wouldn't sell.
I think they would if an offer came strong enough.
Yeah. Okay.
I actually do.
Do you think?
I
Do you
feel
think?
like if
And
a strong
nobody's
enough
untouchable at
offer
this
came
point.
in, I don't think they'd want to see him go first.
Agreed.
But if a strong offer came in, I actually think they would consider, based on where we're at right now. And obviously, a strong number for him is a lot higher than a strong number for Soule, or
Agreed.
factoring these in. But I just don't think we need to get fired up about hearing about these rumors and these teams coming in and whatnot, because it's gonna happen, number one, and it's a good thing, number one, because that means these guys are actually doing something and drawing attention. But it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end of the world for us.
Yeah, I think I said this on the last show. We're sellers. We're not buyers at the moment. We'll be buyers next summer, but I don't see us. You and I got into this a bunch of times with the big splash, how much we're going to send. But we're sellers at the moment. We have to sell in order to buy. Illing Jr. is going to be out, unfortunately. Soule could be gone. Sacrifices are going to have to be made to upgrade that midfield.
Yeah, to upgrade the team, we're gonna have to move. We're gonna have to move some guys. That's just the way it is.
It's just business.
Vlahovic's contract right now is something that has to be dealt with and it has to be sorted out with that big hike that's coming in there. But these young guys, I don't get fired up when I hear these rumors. Like, it kind of is what it is. I'm not. I think out of those three, Illing Jr., Yildiz, Soule, for me, I think like Yildiz is probably the one based on hearing guys like Mirko Romeo that go to the training sessions and everything, the way they talk about these guys. I'd say it's between Soule and Yildiz for a guy that's untouchable out of those three. And I'm probably leaning towards Yildiz myself.
I think the other two get sold outright. I think they get
Soule
sold.
and Illing? You think both of them?
Yep.
Yeah,
I think we've pointed out here, and we've seen it on the feed. I don't know if Luca wants to jump in on this one. Our midfield needs some serious upgrades. Serious upgrades. And unfortunately, we have the players that can bring in some chicoria, and that's the young guys. It's just business.
Luca, how you feel? I know you got a thing for the young guys there.
I mean, it depends which one. Like, I've come to senses with us selling Ealing because of the current situation. But if we're, I also have to look at, the bigger picture. Like, who's our coach next season? Like we see now Max already loving and showing his preference to Yildiz. So already there, you have an idea of our market decisions with Yildiz.
Do you think it matters the coach next year based on this midfield? I think any coach is going to want to upgrade this midfield, though.
Midfield, 100%. I think anybody will want to upgrade it. But that said, I think we still, with another coach, we might not be seeing the same midfield. We might be seeing a 2-man midfield rather than a 3-man. Like, I'm not saying they won't want to upgrade. I agree with you on the upgrade part, and we definitely only get money from our young guys. My question is, who are we going to sell to get it? In my mind right now, it's Yildiz, maybe Baranachea next season. I don't know. There's a lot of guys, and there's a lot of guys you have to get rid of where we're not going to make any money.
Let me just make this clear for a second. I don't want to sell. I don't want the team to sell any of the young players.
Same.
I just know that they will. I've come to the conclusion that they have to. They most likely have to.
I fully agree.
The issue with Juventus is not the young players. The issue for me is the ready now quality guys. The key guys at Juve are too inconsistent right now, and we need to boost the overall quality. We've got a very young team, few proven winners, and that's what's the difference, shining through on the pitch. So we can't keep them all. We have to boost the overall quality. Like, I would love to keep all of them. I would love it, but you can't. You can't. You just can't do it. As far as, like, it's interesting to see who guys would pick and whatnot, but really my point is, if you're Juventus right now, I think there's very few that are not in play as far as if you're getting offers on players. And that's just the reality of where we're at right now. What it'll come down to is if set player can be moved and we can get coverage, and is there enough money to go into the squad to boost it further? So all that's got to be factored in. But I think as far as the player's name go, I don't necessarily believe Juve even really is carrying an untouchable list right now.
I fully agree. I mean, what do we say about
valued every offer?
What do we say about Delict? But look at the business we did on that. If like Huijsen is a great defender. He's very young, very natural, talented, and he's obviously got the size for it. Right now, center backs are not easy to find, especially young, upcoming one with that much talent. But the thing is, if someone comes in for 50 million for the kid, and we can go and buy, let's say, Buongiorno for 20, I mean, we have a pretty smart sporting director at the moment. I think he does it, So it all depends.
I don't think he sells Houston.
I don't think Huijsen's going to be sold. No.
I don't think so either. But we need to also consider what other options might be at play. I think of all the kids, a center back right now, especially when Sandro's on his way out, I think he's got more value than a lot of others. But that said, if a big offer comes in and we can bring in somebody else for less, that discussion is going to be had.
You've
So
got
You have to take
you've
into
got
account too that DeVinter's gone, right?
you
He's going
have
to get sold.
Facundo Gonzalez that we
I
picked
keep
up for
forgetting.
like next to nothing. He's on a Serie B loan with Sampdoria. He's probably ahead of Huijsen as well. Huijsen's still going to have time to go out on loan. You've got Facundo Gonzalez that nobody really remembers that we picked up on a steal of a deal.
and
Totally forgot.
There's no rush for an 18-year-old. Like, there's absolutely no rush. Like, get these loans going and figure it out. You know, you've got Miretti, and this is another thing too with even Allegri and these young guys, because it's like he gets absolutely ripped apart. And it's like, well, has he not played? Like, I know you can make the argument for Illing Jr., and I will concede that one kind of is shocking to me, how much little minutes he's gotten, especially with Kostic kind of only really being strong on one side of the ball. But Miretti, is that on Max? Or is
Nope.
that on Miretti?
That's on Miretti.
He's had a million opportunities.
Man,
Cambiasso
he's
has
not
been
having
hit
a
and
good
miss
year.
this season, to be honest. He started doing well again on the right side now. Weah hasn't done, when he's in and has been in, he's been injured, but he does very little. Is Vlahovic on, how much of it is on Max? I know everybody wants to stay style of play, all this. I don't really know, man. Like, I think ultimately, I used to always like remember, like, it used to be you got your minutes, and when you were like young coming into like competitive teams and whatnot, you had to make the most of whatever the hell you were given. It might not have been the position you wanted to do, like play at, but you had to fight for your minutes. Ant could probably attest. Luca, you could probably attest in your playing days. It didn't fucking matter. Like, you just got to get the job done and show that you need to be that guy, right?
Yep.
I think Max maybe gets a little too much flack on some of the young guys, but Illing Jr., that's an interesting one. That's interesting,
You have
because
to
we
remember,
all
too-
know, like we've all, sorry, Ant, but like we've all seen Illing in his natural position. That's the only thing that bothers me is that, yeah, okay, he's young, so, you know, make the minutes count. But he did that already. Last year in the Champions League, when he came in the 3-4 times as a sub, he was the best player on the field for that 10-15 minutes. So to see that and know that that was there, and we're like, okay, maybe this season we'll build off that. That's what's frustrating to me with what Max is doing, because, like you said, Kostic, I mean, very much a one-trick pony. Like, I haven't seen, he does his job but nothing more. And when we need something fresh, we still don't see Illing. We put him rather in the mid, and even that's only been the last 2-3 games. So that's my only frustration in that aspect, because he's proven himself in
There
his
has
position.
to be something. There has to be something with training or discipline issues, or there has to be something with Illing Jr. because when he's on the field, he's fine. I don't get it. I really don't get it.
We've got an interesting one here from RB Comp saying that people just want to have a reason to whine about Max. Last game was on Allegri, though. I actually don't believe last game was on Max.
No, I was on other players.
With Genoa, like, I mean, our execution was piss poor. They didn't stymie our plan or stop us from gaining final third. Like,
You just couldn't score.
that midfield fell flat on their face. And I mean, when Chiesa gets a gift like that, that's got to end up in the back of the net. You're 1v1 with a keeper, like, at the top there. Like, that's a sidestep lateral and a hit. Like, come on. What are we talking about here?
Our best midfielder was Cambiaso. What does that say about the rest of our mid?
And I know that you want to talk, and again, one of the only key passes that came out of that game was from Chiesa dropping back. But I'm sorry, that midfield lost so many 50-50s. They showed no balls, no heart, and it showed that they had no balls because when Yildiz gets gone through by Malinovsky there, nobody reacts. Not a single fucking player off Juve reacted. If that happened even over here in Rec League, the next sequence,
Melee.
somebody's going through Malinovsky. And the fact that nobody at Juventus did shows me exactly where they were in that game.
Screenshot that.
And soft. Absolutely soft. And I said the same thing on TikTok. I had, like, I swear the entire Ukrainian community come at me for that, but I stand by it. Malinovsky is a toilet and a mutt. But what pissed me off the most was that Juve didn't get into. For me, that game wasn't on Max. It was on the players. But
And
style versus quality, I've been fighting this one a lot this week, guys. Ant, I'll let you go first, and then we'll get into style versus quality. What were you going to say?
no, if anybody watches this show on the regular, I know RB does. He's here every show, so thank you. We haven't been putting a lot on Max this season. We haven't really said his name. It's been on the players.
Yep.
We've actually, if anything, we've changed our tune on Max to say, doing a good job. He's turned the ship around with the players that he has, and it's just the quality of the players. Just maybe the quality of the players definitely in the midfield just isn't there. And
this is a perfect segue into this, because I do have criticisms of Max.
Of course it is.
My criticism of Max, my only criticism of Max this season, is not trying to even out that balance by utilizing a small tweak in the setup, like a two-man pivot with somebody playing naturally as an attacking mid, or potentially using someone that can win 1v1s like Illing Jr. a little bit more to try and support the forwards a little bit better. Because for me, it's just not fully balanced. And you do, if we keep saying, so even if it is our players, okay, which I do believe the midfield is hurting, he still has to try to find a way through that with the guys he currently has. And have we exhausted all our options? I don't think so.
No, yeah, fair enough.
And that's my only criticism on Max.
Hold on. He also played Sandro once he came back from injury. That's my biggest criticism. Yeah, I know. But seriously, that's my only thing. What options could he have? Well, a true advanced midfielder behind two pivots that does slot McKennie out of your midfield. Maybe he goes back to the right wing back. Cambiasso can play on the left side, but we like what they're doing on the right side. Okay, but has it fully supported the offense enough?
Who's that?
Not
who's
quite.
that attacking midfielder? Who
Not
that
quite.
be?
Maybe Yildiz. Maybe. Otherwise, Miretti would have to try out and out as an attacking mid. We know that his game needs work there. The end product hasn't been there. But like I said, if you want to keep your three midfield base, if you want to keep rolling that, then maybe you do need a 1v1 winner like Illing Jr. out on one flank to try and help and support enough. I don't know, but these are really the only kind of options he has left, because we can't do what a lot of fans are kind of talking about, in my personal opinion. Because I've gone over the numbers and I've fought this fight steady for the entire week since Genoa match. Style versus quality. For me, it's a quality issue. Mm-hmm. The last show I brought up the numbers over the 2013-14 Juventus side with that excellent midfield. They averaged 12 shots through the entire season. We're averaging 12 shots a game right now. And everybody's like, and I said that had Pirlo and Marchisio as a part of it. And then everybody's coming at me online. Well, look at this team's doing this without Pirlo and Marchisio. That you're missing my point. That's not my point. Is that yes, you can have teams succeed that don't have these players. The point is if you are asking this Juventus side who scores one goal every 7.5 shots, okay, to generate more than a team that had those players in the midfield, significantly more. Because right now, based on our average, we would have to put 15 shots on a game to get 2 goals. And that's saying that all the shots would be of that quality. The number that stands out to me the most is the big chances. And while people want to brush that aside and say, no, because a bunch of them are from set pieces and all this, we have to get better in open play. I don't disagree. But are we not better in open play because of our game planning or the execution of the players that are there? Because before it even gets to a shot or an opportunity, our guys usually fuck it up in possession or passing. And that's the honest to God truth. And while everybody wants 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3, talk about major shifts, major changes, no. Why would you do that right now? Because we are set up to protect and account for the fact that we turn the ball over so much in the most critical areas. Why? Because these guys, the guys that are on the pitch, are making the mistakes. So if you are screaming for more offense, more attacking from Max, do you think it's feasible at the rate that we're going, 1 goal in every 7.5 shots, you think it's feasible for this team to create 15, 16 shots a game and still only maybe bagging 2 based if we keep the conversion rate the same? No, the conversion rate has to be better. The execution has to be better. I'm watching people praise Bologna. He plays defensive football like Max Allegri. They average 9 shots a game, everybody. But we're praising him and shitting on Max, and most of the time trying to take that accountability away from the players. Everybody knows where I stood with Max this past summer. And this is me saying this. You guys. Like, seriously. There's a fine line between separating where the coaching stops and where the player accountability kicks in. That's all I'm saying.
And this is another reason why I sort of kind of give Dusan a bit of a pass. Because he does get big chances, but it's just the service. Like, people are like, well, his hold-up play. I think, what would you put it at? 75% of his passes are long balls from the defense that he has to control with his back to goal. How many passes does he get running through the middle, like running at the defense? So that's why I'm going to
He messes those up too, though.
He does have to score more. He does have to finish more chances. I get it, but I'm not going to bury the guy based on everything that Berto just said.
I don't know, guys. All I could tell you is this. I saw a post throwing out Llorente, Mandzukic, Ronaldo at the start of his career with Juventus, talking about poor production and whatnot. Did anybody have and Higuain not matching tallies from Napoli and whatnot? Did anybody have any problem with any of those players while their production suffered? No.
No, because they hustled.
Because the other intangibles were all there. So at the end of the day, you just got to get it done. You got to get it done. I'm talking about, and Bologna with joint 4th in possession. We're 13th. It's 52% to 47%. It's just like an average of possession. It still doesn't speak to the games that are being played. At the end of the day, they didn't beat Inter for doing anything world-breaking or like reinventing the wheel. Bologna had 7 shots with 2 on target, and only one of them was a big chance. Inter missed 3 big chances. They had 19 opportunities. It's like, at the end of the day, if you're generating big chances, no matter how the hell they come, you have to put them away. That's all it comes down to, guys. Mm-hmm. And again, if you're asking me, are we so far off? This Inter that everyone is hyping up this year, they average 13 shots a game. We average just under 12. We are right there with big chances created, okay? And we actually are leading the league in big chances missed. Are we in dire needs of changing things radically? Based off those numbers, for me, no.
No, I need two. You can change it by 2 players and maybe a formation switch.
Why would we change the formation?
I'm just saying that
Other than a tweak like the 2-man pivot, that's fine.
Right.
Yeah, small
That's what I'm
change.
saying.
Yeah,
A small
just a
change
tweak.
and add 2 players.
I think
Yeah.
we need to start finding a solution with the guys we have. Because I'm starting to doubt anybody comes in January. Starting to
I
doubt.
told you they're not.
Same.
So that's my one thing with Max right now. I do think he's going to be struggling without a certain trait and abilities. He has to find a way around that. Today, we have an opportunity for him to maybe try something new. Will he?
No.
I don't know. Chiesa's out. Chiesa's out. That's going to be interesting. There's another key cog for creation. Max is going to have to dial something up. The players are going to have to step it up. Players are going to have to step it up.
I mean,
I see RB comps here saying Vlahovic is a million miles away from Higuain. Take it easy. Higuain was late 20s when he came to us, so
Yeah.
and already a proven striker. So
Gonzalo at that age was
But
playing
it's
for
not
Madrid.
wrong to say he's miles away from that. He is miles away from where that was when he came to us.
There's also like a 12-year gap between them.
But
When-
he's
when they
miles
joined.
away from where Pipita was when he came to us.
100%. Yes.
Yeah,
they're
so it's
completely-
not a false statement.
No,
But
it
they're
is.
com- they're at
You're
Yeah.
just
completely
getting pissy
different stages
because
of-
he's not there and he's young.
But it's
yeah, but they're completely
stages of-
different stages of their career. Like that's
Early
not even the
and-
same
Yeah,
thing.
but his statement is not wrong.
Yeah, but it's unwarranted, is what I think Ant is trying to say.
Yeah.
It's a true statement though.
Okay, well, scroll down. Like anyone who says Vlahovic has the potential to be better than Higuain, wake up.
He's got the potential, but Higuain's overall game, do you think Vlahovic can get there in overall game that Pipita brought?
Absolutely. In 6 years?
I don't know.
I don't know.
6 years from now.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't.
Probably,
I
maybe.
don't. I don't
I don't
see
think
it.
so.
I don't
Yeah.
see it. We just finished talking about that list of players that, regardless
All
of
right.
production, you never
Write this
had a
down.
problem with, and we all agree.
We'll replay this in 6 years. Because I don't know.
He's not going to be
But
at
to
Juve
say that
in
he-
6 years. I won't even
There's
care in
no
6 years.
chance he's with us in 6 years. Zero chance.
But that
Sounds like
statement
he's done in
is
6 years.
absolutely valid from RB Comps. He's not. And to question whether or not he's going to get there, I think it's fair based on what we're seeing. But besides that, we got Frosinone. And speaking of the young guys, we had Huijsen and Yildiz had their little video. We were looking at these guys in the locker room and stuff. It reminded me of like some of the initiations you had to do when you were like a rookie joining a team and whatnot. Like, oh my God. Luca, did you ever have to go through any initiations joining a team and being a rookie?
It wasn't. It was during a tournament, so unfortunately, we never had time. But I did get my ass beat. Like that was the initiation. Just everyone just beat on the new guy at practice.
What the
That was
hell?
about it. It was like I said, it was during a tournament, and then
You
just
guys
I
in
can't
Quebec,
practice. Everyone
man, I
just slaps
tell you.
and it-
What the hell?
Listen, it's a weird province. What can I tell you?
And any initiations you could remember from your playing days?
No, I didn't partake in any of that nonsense because it's like, come on. Even at a young age, I was like, this is a complete waste of time. University, there was always fun stuff, but no, I just never really. Now, I will say, some of my buddies who played hockey,
No.
Those-
We're not
I'm not
going
even
into
gonna
a
get into
different
those.
sport. We're not going into
Listen.
a different sport.
but for
I-
soccer, no.
We didn't do a whole lot like in the competitive days when I was younger and stuff, but I'm looking back now. I think it's been better as I've gotten older, and like the last competitive team I played with, like just in men's league, the initiation was brilliant. And it was like, so the rookies had to come in. We would, and a couple of them were not of age, but we would go to the local watering hole, okay? And it would be karaoke night. If you were a rookie, you had to sing, but you did not have your choice of song. And
What
yes,
song?
they would usually be inebriated. And the absolute best one I can think of was we had a young kid, Okay, and yes, we had him in. His father, though, okay, his father was an absolute beast. Still played with us. He broke they set a rule so that he could play in both the rec league and competitive, so he could play with his two sons who played on our team. This guy was an animal, a unit. His young kid, we took them out, and he had to sing. What song do we choose? Enrique Iglesias, Hero. And we decked this guy out in boas and we got to put all the props on this kid. Unbelievable. I still have the video, so it's absolutely hilarious. But I always like the karaoke ones. It's some kind of fun. Put them out of there. He was the most quiet kid, shy as hell. And here he is on stage, and give him credit, belted it out. I love initiations like that. Hockey
The whole
ones,
song?
too aggressive. Hockey ones, filthy. Hockey players are filthy. I'll leave that out of there. Now,
He had to sing the whole song?
he had to sing the entire song.
Long song. It's like a 6-minute song.
After it was over, his dad looks at me and I'm like, that's brilliant. He says, I got to get this kid home, man. I was like, yeah, obviously. And the DJ starts talking to you. He's just like, Logan. This poor kid is looking to the sky. It's like, man, it's just the DJ behind you. God's not trying to speak to you right now. Kid had the spins, had a rough night. Beautiful initiation. Hoyson and Yildiz, cool video on them coming up and everything. But again, don't get too attached, everybody. Don't get too attached. That's all I could say. Sometimes a little too attached. Frosinone Juventus. We talked about it. Chiesa's out. Rabiot is in. What would you do? Everybody in the live, what would you do in this particular situation? Start Yildiz. Milik was set to start. Let's start there. Would you guys start Milik, or would you start Vlahovic before Chiesa even we found anything out about Chiesa? Would you have started Vlahovic, or would you have started Milik?
Besides Chiesa?
Yeah.
Like if Chiesa was playing?
Yes. Before anything, would you have started Vlahovic over Milik?
Yeah.
Yes. Vlahovic and Chiesa would have started the game for me. Yes.
100%.
No, I'm asking your call, not if they would have.
That's my call. And
your call is Vlahovic.
Yes.
What's yours?
I was feeling like maybe it would be time to get Milik to start. And I know that last time I was saying it is crucial for us, and I do stand by it, to get these guys firing. But at the same time, I don't know about just keep forcing something. And Milik can bring something a little bit more all around. I wasn't against it. Now with Chiesa out, I definitely don't want to see two of our strikers play together. Milik, Vlahovic,
you're gonna see it.
Milik, Keane. I know, but I think Yildiz should start. I think he should start. I would start Yildiz. I had more doubts about what I was talking about earlier. A two-man pivot, one attacking mid, and trying Yildiz in that attacking mid role. I have less doubts about trying him in that manner as a second striker. I have less doubts about that. Next to Milik, I think Milik would be the guy over Vlahovic or Keane that I start Yildiz next to if I'm going to start him. So he could lean on an experienced player that has good hold up.
Juve Pulse just put that out there. There's a starting lineup.
First things
this
first.
is what he would do. Yeah.
Yeah. First things first. As much as I wouldn't be against Gatti getting a rest. If it's for Sandro, I have absolutely every problem with that. But if it's Rugani, I have no issue. I just want to say that because Sandro could be put as far as possible from the field. I don't want to see him play. That's all I'm saying.
So you don't care who we start up top then? Your only concern is Sandro at the back.
I honestly don't. I don't have as many issues because, as Bert said, I feel like no matter who starts and what we change up front, it's not like we're gonna go and bang 4 goals against Frosinone. I don't see that changing. But backline, like I don't know. Like I don't want to see Sandro go up against Soule. Like I know exactly what's gonna happen if that what's the issue there.
We gotta listen. At the back, Gatti, I'm fine with the rest. We got Roma next. I'd rather have him in the Roma game than I would, because if there's anything to take from Roma, it's the fact that they are good up top if their guys are there. Dybala, again, injuries. If he's going to be there, nobody really knows yet.
He's back.
He'll be.
Lukaku.
I saw some yesterday said he'll be back. He'll most likely be back for that game.
Yeah. So we'll have to be weary of them up front, but in the midfield and at the back, I'm not really
Lukaku
worried
always
about them.
shoots the
We
red
should
ball.
win that game, but again, depends what we do. Up top here, if you're going to start Yildiz, it makes sense to do it next to Milik. Animesh believes that Max will start Miretti as a second striker, and I don't see that. I think he's going to go
No way.
again, and
On the
like I
bench.
said earlier, what's my only criticism so far of Max? Maybe just not trying enough or something else to try and help push this balance. I think we're going to get Vlahovic was set not to play. I think we are going to get Vlahovic and Milik. That's what I would expect.
If I'm a betting man, I'd bet on just him putting Milik instead of Chiesa, 100%. But if he's gonna go just because we have three strikers, if he just puts one, I would not be surprised if he just puts Meretti up there and we have a four-man mid.
Yeah.
It really would not surprise me.
And it's a tough one. Like, Arby's like, I'm stuck on this one. He says I'd still start Vlahovic in hopes he can finally score. Weah starting up top. Alex and Weah can start up top.
No, maybe on
Why
the
not?
wing, not in a. I don't see him centrally as a winger. Sure, as a central like a second striker. I don't see it. It's not that he doesn't have what Chiesa has. Like Chiesa kind of gets through in that position because he's flexible and he can move from side. I don't see Weah doing that. I see him very much as a one-directional, player.
Okay,
Maybe that's just
so-
me because I haven't seen him enough.
Frosinone coming to this game lost 3 of 5 in Serie A. But that win on Tuesday, I think, is going to force Max to
That's a big
stick to players he's comfortable with and not experiment at all.
It has
If
to
that
be
was
said.
if they got humped midweek, what's that?
Yeah,
It has
I
to be
agree.
said, Frosinone actually had rotation in against Napoli there too. They actually had rotation in there on Napoli. That wasn't full go. Napoli, that game got away from them when they put their starters in, oddly enough. But Napoli didn't have all their usuals in there. What's interesting about Frosinone is that they're much, much better at home. 5-2-1 at home. Away from home, they haven't got a victory yet. But what's really interesting about Frosinone is this. When they've faced Inter, when they've faced Milan, when they've faced Napoli, they had completely different setups for each team. We've seen 3-4-3, we've seen 4-2-3-1, and we've seen 3-4-2-1. And they've switched it up with personnel and approached every team, every game differently. Obviously, some of the results may not be what they wanted, but that makes things very, very difficult to kind of predict from our point of view. Yep. So for us, it's kind of this guessing game of what Frosinone are you going to see? What is their strategy going to be? Because it does change their points, their focal points in each setup. It actually does change how they play and where their focal points come. That's going to be tough for Juve to gauge because they've cycled through like 4 formations all season. And I don't know how they're going to approach us. So for us, we have to really just focus on ourselves and what we think is going to be best at every spot. Do you keep the stability with the 3 midfielders? Do you try opening up a 3-4-1-2? Keep your 3 midfielders in there. You're still going to need to support the attack. Do you go with a Kostic in this game? It's a tough decision. It's a tough spot to be in, but I do think we should be aiming for a little bit more and trying to get that balance going, trying to help the execution out of the midfield, because when 2/3 of your midfield are Rabiot McKennie, that creation's kind of lacking. Locatelli is not gone over and above for creation. We're screaming. We're screaming for some creative help. Cambiasso can do his job, and he has been doing good off the right. It's still not enough, and it's still not balanced across the lineup. We need one more guy either out on the outside left or out of the middle that helps the group.
But those games you listed, they lost to Napoli, they lost to Inter, and they lost to Milan.
Yes, but it doesn't change the fact that how do you game plan against not knowing what you're going to get?
Fair enough.
So off what Ann said before, if they would have gotten bumped midweek, I would have said, and we actually won last game. I would have said, okay, go in confident and maybe change up a few things, try something different. The fact they slammed Napoli midweek and we were awful last week, I think Max just goes with safety here. I think he just pushes in Milik for Chiesa, and that's it. And nothing else changes. I wouldn't be surprised if Gatti starts too. Like, knowing Max.
You think Rabiot starts?
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, 100%.
Even if he was at 60%, to me, this one game without Rabiot and Max had a panic attack. Maybe because Meretti played like ass, but that's besides the point.
Rabiot, Locatelli, McKennie
for sure. Yeah, that's what I foresee. He's not putting. I hope to God he doesn't put Meretti back in, but I don't think he is either. He didn't. He saw what we saw last week. Nothing impressive.
So. It has to be said too that they, again, while going back to those games that they would have lost, we know that against Milan they actually had more possession, more opportunities. Again, weren't clinical. It'll always come down to clinical and burying your chances, you guys. Inter, Frosinone outpossessed Inter as well. 12 opportunities, only 3 on target. Execution wasn't there. Inter at the end, once they got that crazy goal from Di Marco, kind of deflated Frosinone, who actually came out very good out of the gate in that game. And the Napoli, we saw the one at home at the Maradona, the one earlier on in the season when they faced them. Same thing, decent for possession, but really couldn't hurt Napoli in terms of creation. But the other two fared pretty well against Milan and Inter. Milan, not much of a measuring stick through a very, very rocky time. This is a weird one to call. I think all you can do from Juve's standpoint is focus on yourself and figure out what you're going to do.
That's right.
We got to figure out a little bit more in balance. That's my last critique on Max. But I think overall, these guys can do better. The numbers are irrefutable. They're irrefutable, the numbers that are just showing that we're not executing to the degree we need to be. If we want to keep that pace and be on with them, firing through until season's end. We'll see what happens. But this lineup, it's going to be very, very interesting what Max decides to do. Ultimately, we still have to put our money where our mouth is, boys. We are going to fire away prediction. It's hard to predict a day before. We don't have lineups. But we're not going to sit here and piss and moan about it. Let's get to it, boys. Final score, 2 tiebreakers. Hey, it's almost Christmas. Your last name is Christmas. Luca, kick us off.
God damn it.
Luca Natale, everybody.
Yes.
And he's going to sing us a little tune on our outro.
Final score. Are you guys going to hate me on this one?
I already hate you. Go ahead.
Oh, good.
Kidding.
Shit.
It's because you never play that damn keyboard, you suckers.
I don't want to predict a loss, but I'm feeling like it. Oh. I know. Okay, I'll go with a tie again. I'm safe on the tie.
What the hell's the matter with you? I mean, sorry, I thought I was muted. Keep going.
Do you want an explanation or do you want my prediction? Pick one.
Yeah. Let's go.
Final
what the hell did you just say?
We're tying. He said we're tying.
I actually think we'll lose.
Luca Natale, not very jolly today, everybody.
Hey, let your balls drop and make a prediction. Let's go. Come on.
Say 1-1
say
final
it.
score.
You think we're going to lose tomorrow? Say it. Drop your balls and say it.
1-1 final score.
You son of a bitch.
I think I take the over on 4.5 yellow cards.
Oh, really?
Shit, what's another tiebreaker? Can it just be a goal scorer or no?
Yeah, of course it can.
Are you new? Like what?
I haven't done a prediction in a long time, actually. And Berto keeps like excluding me from the videos, so.
That's right.
And
You missed one, man. Get over it.
My second tiebreaker. Oh, fuck. I say McKennie goal. Yeah, that's
Those
it.
stink. All right.
And
For the record, you dumped on me last week, and
Okay.
I was right.
how's that?
Now that we got Lucas out of the way, I'll hit you with some stats. So it looks like here, what I counted pretty quick. Looks like Frosinone has been held scoreless in only 4 games, so they know how to score. They don't score a bunch, but they do score. But either way, that doesn't factor into my prediction. The ref tomorrow is Maurizio Mariani, who did our Milan game. So we know he can throw out the Reds, and we know that he'll give up penalty shots. So that's a positive. I didn't even look even before that. So he averages 5 yellow cards per game. Luca, there you go. He's in 142 Serie A matches, 49 Reds, 49 PKs. So we'll see. Hopefully he is not a factor tomorrow. So for the prediction, I'm going to go at plus 550. I am going to go with a 1-0 Juventus win. Not including in my predictions. I think we're going to be well below 50% possession. At plus 650, I'm taking Danilo as the goal scorer off a set piece. I am going to say that's going to happen in the first half because I'm taking Juventus halftime at plus 120. And, tomorrow there's going to be a lot more prop bets available. Right now, I'm going to take Danilo at 2 or more fouls for plus 200.
Okay.
You got that, Luca? Did you hear that? There you go.
I mean, you literally just said that Frosinone have been scoring in like every game, and then you're like, nope, they're not going to score on us.
Yeah, you heard that right.
Sandro's starting, by the way.
Oh, shit.
I'm going.
I'm gonna update that. Son of a bitch.
They are tough to predict what you're going to see. They still generate a lot of opportunities. I could see them getting a goal against Juventus. I think Juventus has just overall more. And I would hope that one of the messages, when you look at the two sides, is definitely the size that Frosinone surrenders to Juventus. And I hope that one of our strategies is to be way more physical than
Lay the
Frosinone.
hammer.
Okay, set the fucking tone. Set the tone. All right?
The tone.
We were so soft against Genoa. There's never a match where we should see somebody go through an 18-year-old and nobody reacts. That was weak. I'm looking at everybody at the back line on that one, even the midfielders. Get through Malinovsky after. Approach Frosinone trying to intimidate and bully them and get physical, get after, win those 50-50s, impose yourself. We should have more than enough to get the job done. I know we've got some question marks about balance and creativity and everything, but Frosinone, when the best Frosinone is out there, they do leave themselves open and still surrender a lot of opportunities the other way, even when they're at their best. I think Juve's got enough to get through it. I'm going 3-1 in this one for Juventus, okay?
Let me see what the line is on that one.
3-1 Juve. Okay.
Plus 1150.
Rabiot finds himself on the score sheet against Frosinone.
And what are the odds on a current Juve loan player scoring against us? What are the odds on that?
Yep, on it.
The goal scorer for Frosinone, as my other tiebreaker, just for you, Luca, will not be one of our loanees. All right? That's my tiebreaker.
So I'll tell you
3-1 Juve.
Here's the top 4 goal scorers in terms of odds to score. Vlahovic, Milik, Weah, Yildiz. Yeah.
And that's just Juventus players?
No, and then I don't know who this guy is for Frosinone in it.
Oh.
Ibrahimovic for Soule is plus 370 to score. Who'd you say? Rabiot plus 380.
Rabiot's getting a goal. Everybody,
And then
I think
Kurt
that
scored.
overall, there's like, you got all
3-1
this.
is plus 1300, Luca.
I wouldn't be surprised if Max throws us a surprise. I was thinking we would get a surprise before. I wouldn't rule anything out just yet. Let's wait and see what he does here. But we could be in for a surprise. You could see some start up top that is out of what's expected. I think we will, to be honest. I think he's going to surprise us against Frosinone. Everybody, 3:30 a.m. It's going to be the watch along my time. That's 6:30 a.m. Eastern time. Come join us, okay? Come join us. And it's time for Storm the Barn. We do have room for Storm the Barn. Guys, do you have one quick before we go to the live chat for their Storm the Barn questions?
I don't have any Storm the Barn, but I do know that Juve and these early games never ends well. And you guys both know that's to be true.
It's not never. No, there's been like a couple rocky ones. It's not never. It'd be stupid to say never. Look at the record. Come on. Come on.
I would love to find that record.
Before 2010, fine.
Luca, your last name is Natale. It's almost Christmas, and you're always glass 3/4 empty. What a life.
Actually, it's about half at this point.
Be glass quarter full. All right, Slappy. Jesus.
Quarter full. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, Ant. He doesn't have a Storm the Barn. Do you have a Storm the Barn?
No. Let me think of one. Hang on. When someone fires one, I'm sure I'll come up with. Come
I
on,
don't
people.
know if
Let's
you
go.
guys. So
These two are on vacation. Let's go. Come up with some questions. Give them something to do.
Hey, give them some time. Relax. We had the off the record chat with Anthony yesterday, and he had some beauties.
You mean Tony Trim?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Antrim had some great questions. And they're always tough because I can answer it differently. I swear to God, just what day you catch me on. But we did top 10 kits, okay? That one was interesting, some of his picks for top 10.
Here we go. Pants just going to turn around.
He caught me off guard with some of his top 10 picks. It was pretty interesting. But he also said top Juventus team, which was so hard for me, and we had to split it up. Favorite Juventus side or top Juventus side pre-Farsopoli and post-Farsopoli. So Luca might only be able to speak more to the post, which is okay. That's fine.
I was only born like 10 years ago. So.
But Luca, so what's your favorite Juve side since you've started supporting whatnot? And it would be post-Farsopoli.
15-16.
15-16? That was in the mix.
That's all I have. So
for my post-Farsopoli, I said it'd have to be one of the sides that had Pirlo in it. And I went the year before 15-16, 14-15, where we made that Champions League final against Barca. I had that.
That's a good shot. Oh, fuck.
Dude, you had Tevez, you had like Marquisio, Pirlo, Vidal. Yeah. That's the side I went with post-Farsopoli.
That's a good call. That team to go to Barca, like, if we hadn't played the best Barca side, I think, like, in the last 30 years, I honestly think we had that final. But yeah, no, I changed my choice. That was it.
Ryan went 11-12 or 14-15.
Which one is the team where Morata scored and he knee slides in the corner and then Cuadrado, Pogba, and the ball?
Excuse me.
No?
15-16.
With the black kits.
15-16.
Yeah, the black and gold. That was 15-16 where we lost
15-16.
That team seems to stick out for me for some reason.
We lost to Madrid that year?
That was 15-16, yeah.
Okay.
Who do we lose to, Bert?
Bayern?
Oh, yeah. Fucking Evra.
Bayern.
Mm-hmm. Don't mention that to Lou.
He has nightmares about
Now, for the older heads, Anth, before 06, best Juve side. Your top Juve side.
It would have to be the it would have to be that Champions League team.
Yeah, would it not be that team?
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, I didn't pick that team. They were in there. I had a
The
tough
team
time
the
between.
year after where they lost in the final.
I
That
had
team was
90.
just as good.
I had 95, 96, that Champions League
Mhm.
with team. I had 97, 98, and I had 2002, 2003, the Champions League finalists to Milan. Those were my three sides that it was in the mix.
Interesting.
Nedved.
I ended up going with 97, 98 as my favorite pre-Vartsopolis
I gotta
side, my
look at the
top Juve
rosters.
side. That
That's the
team
one. Was that Zidane's first year?
that was Zidane's first year with his second year? First year.
What were the
First
years
year
again?
with Juve, I believe.
97, 98.
97, 98, that was my top Juve. And that was the best version of Del Piero for me by far. He was 32 goals, all comps. He was a killer.
Dirty.
The hair, the sideburns, like
thin
the
sideburn,
come
no?
on. That was the best era Del Piero. That was another great question. We kind of had fun. Eras of players, favorite era of Del Piero. For me, 97, 98 best version. But what was your favorite Buffon era? The 02, 03, a couple of years
02, 03
after he came in. 06 when he won the World Cup.
Yeah, but
Decade of dominance towards the end.
Are we considering what he did outside of Juventus or just Juventus? That's why. Because what he 06 with Juve, I mean,
Outside of Juve, he's got done.
because 06 is notable because of the World Cup, right? But take out the World Cup,
Dude, 06, Juve had a ridiculous side, one of the top sides in the world. Capello shit the bed with. Buffon was Buffon like kind of made himself the best in 03.
I was gonna say 02, 03 for
He
me.
got
like,
crowned in 06 because of the World Cup. But you could say that was the era. Like
kept them in that. Okay.
03, I just remember the crazy hair, the choker. Remember the choker necklace he used to always wear when he was in net? He had the crazy chops.
What was that? I never
Dude.
understood that.
It's just a style,
Unreal.
man.
Dude, Takinardi used to always have the same thing, those tight. I'm like, how are you playing with this fucking...
Okay.
Totally
Where are the
illegal.
foreign questions, guys? Come on.
Hey, they're here. Relax. Would you sell Vlahovic for Boniface and Xerxes? What? Two?
I have no idea who those other two players are, so no.
Anthony's
Not
like, who the
a
fuck's
clue.
Boniface?
Who those
All
other
right,
two-
relax. Leave it to us. Luca,
Thank you.
Is it both or either? Because you said
if
and,
we're
right?
asking both, I mean, yeah.
That's good value. Like I would say yes.
But if you want to say for one or the other okay, he meant or. So he meant or. Okay, so
Yeah,
would
no.
you sell Vlahovic for Boniface or Xerxes? I said this, I had this tweet out the other day. By the way, everybody, get the likes up. Let's go. Get the likes up, subscribe. Xerxes for me is like, I'm still undecided on. Like, I'm unsure. Like, he's
hot and
in
cold.
good form right now, but watching him play, I'm not sold for whatever reason. I can't pinpoint it, but I have doubts there.
Isn't he the bad guy from the movie 300?
You saw that on the feed. There's no way you just remembered that.
What?
But yes, he is.
Is he? Okay.
Yeah, like I remember. I don't know who it was. I think it was Mick on the feed.
Xerxes. He's a
Xerxes.
kind
He's
god.
He's the
The ball head guy with all the stuff.
Now, back
Getting
to
back to this
fucking
question.
football, for Christ's sake.
Thank you, Anthony. Though I needed that.
Boniface. Victor Boniface is interesting, but yeah, I mean, if all things ended the way they are now, I think the biggest thing is just looking, even before we get to Boniface or Xerxes, Vlahovic himself, his contract climbs up significantly. If things ended the way they are right now, we have to find a solution. For me, I'm not sold on Xerxes. Boniface, a little more, but how much? When you have a team that's just rolling like Leverkusen, it's hard to say like if these guys are going to do that away from that. Sometimes you just catch lightning in a bottle and everybody's steamrolling, and you take a player out of that, you put him in a different scenario, a different situation. It might not be that way. Looking at overall abilities and stuff, I like Victor Boniface. I would definitely choose him over Xerxes. But right now, the biggest thing is just Vlahovic and what we're going to do. But I'd take Boniface over Xerxes personally. That's just me. Luca, would you take Xerxes over Boniface or?
I'd actually, yeah, I would take Xerxes, but I mean, I wouldn't do the deal. I wouldn't do either of them for Vlahovic. But if I had to choose, it would be Xerxes, just because of what I've seen his ability. I've seen it come out more than Boniface, but like that's just me. But either way, I mean, I wouldn't do that deal, so not really
So to
much.
play off
So
of that
you're
question,
you don't want to sell Vlahovic, Luca.
I think at this point, whether we sell him or not, that's another question. Personally, I wouldn't. I think at this point stay in. We give up way too quickly on guys like this, and yeah, he's not doing great, but I would still keep banking on him.
Even
Do
with
you
that
think there's
salary
any-
about to hike, if he doesn't renew and lower it, you'd still keep.
If he doesn't renew,
Because
and
it
lower it,
skyrockets from
you
like,
think it's going to go up? It is supposed to go up, right?
no, it is. It's not, do I think? Like, it's going up significantly. That's the whole
30
issue.
million
I mean, look, we're doing fine financially.
gross.
I mean, is he earning it? That's a different story. But if we could afford it, I say why not? Again, I think he will improve.
It's probably preventing a long-term deal for Chiesa.
Mm,
I don't know. I don't know, man. There's a lot to
it's
unpack
not
there.
preventing a 1-year extension, but I think it could prevent it down the road. It's not going to prevent right now. It won't prevent us extending 1 year. Is there what percentage? I'll kind of play off of that question since nobody's really firing out questions here. What percent chance do you think we have of selling Vlahovic or another player in January? I think it's 0. I think there's just no way we can afford to lose anybody else other than like loaning out some young players. I think it's a 0% chance that he gets sold, that he leaves
That who,
9%.
Vlahovic?
in January. There's no way we're
Not
selling
in
him
January. Won't happen in January.
There's no way.
9%.
Shatterstar, you sell Duchan now, you'll lose too much value. I think we need to hold right now. Right now, on a 4-year contract, we purchased him a little over 83 million euros. So half of that is gone in amortization at the end of this season. So 40 million, a sale over 40 million euros sees some capital coming to the club. However, his salary is
the one that bumps.
what's going to lure teams in a different direction.
Yeah.
It's the salary that is the killer. And that's what's probably, it's not the price tag, because now, I don't think Juve can ask 80 million like we could have probably last summer and tried to. And
Nope.
even then,
We'll
it
be lucky
seemed to
if we
be
get
a
60.
struggle and nobody was in, because at that point we had 60 million on the books still that we had to cover. So you obviously want to sell for higher than that. But it's tough. It's going down. But that salary is nasty, you guys.
And you
That
can't think
salary's-
that, hey, let's sell him for 60 and we'll buy somebody for 60. They sell him
That
for
is
60. They're going to buy somebody for 10
Yeah.
because they need that
100%.
money. They have to get for the financial fair play, right? We're
Oh,
already in the
100%.
hole. Year one.
Yep.
I think this is year 1 of 3, right? We have to show an average of. We have to show positive. Is it just positive over 3 years, or does it have to be at least 60
No,
million
you
over-
can't be over a 3-year average. You can't be. I think it's 20. No, what is it? It's got to be at like 20 in the whole max, like over
net,
the 3
like,
years.
average, right?
Yeah,
And right
yeah.
now we're at 60 after 1 year or something. So we got a bit of work to do.
It's
I mean, what's his name? The last comment just reminded me of something. Pogba's wages are essentially going to be gone. I mean, we did lose a boatload on him, but that's another large amount off the books. So if we take that in consideration, they were planning on paying him and Dusan. Let's not forget.
they have been
So-
gone for a while. Like the wages,
been paying
Pogba's
them
wages,
until-
he's been getting nothing since it was going to go to trial. He's been getting minimum like 42K
Yeah.
or something.
Oh yeah,
But
I
Luca,
don't know.
that's a different regime, man. This is Giuntoli's train now. That was
Yeah.
Yes, but I'm saying, did they not consider that prior? Like, they in their mind going to next season, Pogba and Vlahovic were both there, so those wages were going to be considered. So now that we lose, 8 million that we're not paying to Pogba, doesn't that open up space in the budget, or am I wrong?
Take it easy.
What I missed?
Oh,
I didn't see
James,
that. I didn't
that's
see the
funny.
comment. I missed the comment.
That's correct.
Goddamn, James.
However, Animesh, the rules are as Berto just stated. You have to show financial stability over a 3-year period on average.
We also weren't offered what those other teams were, which was just a payout. Because while whatever that and don't hold me to that threshold that I said it was, whatever it is, it's not coming to my head for the 3-year average. You had numerous teams well below that paid penalties. And it wiped clean. We were not afforded that. We all know why we were not afforded that, but it is what it is. I think with Vlahovic, it's a really tough one. And I said this, it doesn't really matter what the problem is. It doesn't really matter why. It's a problem, though. Vlahovic is a problem right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter why anybody thinks it is. It is. They have to figure something out there, because that's the difference on how much of these other prospects we also move to. Because that means if he's staying and that salary stays, all this, you're selling more players to try and strengthen this team. In the summer, I do believe we're going to get more resources. We'll be back in Champions League. There's a new sponsor coming in. There's also, I personally predict a purchase of Juventus minority shareholder tied into that. That's just my theory, okay? I think it's happening.
UEFA's new rule, so this is an older article, allows clubs to incur losses of 60 million over 3 years.
There we go. So
we're already at 60.
It's okay. It's fine. Giuntoli's going to cook. I have no problems with
100%.
that. Everybody's got to remember, too, Calvo said the cleanup, it was financially, is done this year. Everybody said this calendar year. I said no, this season. And that still stands. North American fans, Little Birdie says get ready, because it could be 3 years in a row. Juve North America this summer. Just saying, probably going down. Probably going
to be the West Coast again. They seem to like LA.
They do seem to like there. Los Angeles. Went into a little club in Santa Monica while I was there, and Gasolina was just rolling. And I was like, my God, the timeless classic of Gasolina in 2022 in a club
That's right.
in Santa Monica.
Yeah, I was confused. I'm like, am I missing something here?
Unreal.
You didn't miss a goddamn thing.
It's a great song. I still play it.
AJC Army trip. Let's go. Get over wherever they are. East Coast, West Coast, whatever. I'm just saying, probably going to go down. As long as it's not like San Francisco, yeah, as long as Barca doesn't get the shits again. But what I'm hearing is Real Madrid, Juve, and Barca have a connection made on summer tours and whatnot. And I've kind of partnered up on these tours. But North America seems to be where they're pushing it. So we'll go. Last call, Storm the Barn. Luca, do you now have something? Anthony, have you now thought of something?
No.
Luca can't
Super
think,
League
right?
Summers. There you go. There you go.
I'm on vacation mode, Ant. I'm not supposed to think.
I'm supposed to be working today.
What?
Get
It's
to
the 22nd. Okay.
We'll get to it.
It's all good. You guys have time. I want to just put one last thing out there, because the holidays are not always good for everybody, and some people struggle. We put this out there a week ago, just that our DMs on all platforms are always open for anybody who is struggling. And if you are struggling, it doesn't have to be us. Just reach out to somebody, because it helps. And I can promise you 1,000,000% it does help to talk to somebody. So you're not alone, whether it's us or somebody else. Please reach out. For everybody else, enjoy a safe and happy holiday season. We wish you all the best. We thank you for all your continued support. It's been a massive, massive year for the AJC. And all the support, all the messages, all the DMs. I'm not as good as I should be at sharing it all with the team. And for that, it's my bad. I need to get better at it. But you guys are fantastic. We thank you for all your continued support. Keep sharing the content. When you guys come up with clips and you clip the shows for us, that goes a long way because we don't all have time to kind of do it amongst ourselves with our own personal lives and stuff. So when you guys do it, I love it. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for everything you guys do. You've helped bring us to light in the eyes of some very, very important people that could mean some big shifts and changes for us in the new year. So stay tuned. And that can't happen without all of you. So a massive, massive thank you from all of us at the AJC. All right.
You all set the tone for us.
We wish you all the best. And yes, we're going to set the tone in the new year and big, big things to come. Don't forget, 3:30 a.m. my time, 6:30 a.m. Eastern time, the watch along. I'll bring you the action and call the action, okay? Frosinone Juventus, I'll be here. And yes, I got had 2 Christmas get-togethers already, back-to-back nights, and starting to feel it. But I'll be rocking it. Now.
Okay, well, you said it.
Man, I've had this.
You okay, Bert?
Ever since I have COVID, I'm always like, just.
I think it's just the gin. I think it's the gin coming out. That's all.
It's not the gin. It's not the gin.
Never the gin.
From Tunisia. Grazie. Grazie. James. Grazie. Love the show, pod, the whole thing. Have a great holiday season. Have a great holiday season. Davide from Adelaide, Australia. Nice work, boys. Buon
Go
Natale.
to bed, man. Thanks for joining the show.
Yeah, I was going to say go to bed.
All the best, lads. There you go. I think it's the green. No. Just ever since COVID, man. Not quite 100%. You know? But hey, we'll see. Juventus need to get more ball.
Ball or balls?
Balls.
Need to get more balls.
I think Adidas supplies more than enough. Should be fine.
Like for the tree? Christmas balls? Decorating? Are they a little shy?
I think he means...
I coglione. I'm not sure.
Coglione.
That's getting flipped.
You need a Scudetto, Alberto, and you will be healed. Yes. I hope so. 4 points behind.
That's getting clipped.
There's a lot of people thinking Inter's just going to march on. It's theirs to lose. We'll see what happens. Tampa, Florida. Much love. Thank you, you guys. Okay. Take care. 3:30 a.m. I'll be here. I'll see ya. Take care. As always, fino alla fine. Forza Juve. Max Allegri. Figure this out, man. We're like 1 tweak, maybe 2 tweaks away from, I think, really being strong. We're not far off, okay? People like to say we're so far off. We're not far off. The numbers also don't back that. And even if you're watching, guys got to just step it up. Rabiot, Crazy Horse, he's my early pick for man of the match in this one against Frosinone. We'll see if it happens. Take care, everybody. I'll see you, see you at game time.
Yeah.